Hello everyone, today we got to play the Realm of Sand. So it is a very similar to Patchwork in that you have Tetris-style pieces that you're trying to play on a board. It's different in the fact that you're trying to get different patterns to complete cards or buildings, and therefore get rewards, and you keep moving forward. And at the end of the game, you're hoping to get the most victory points through that. So that's a general synopsis. So going into quality of pieces, I think the cards are
subpar, really subpar.
They pretty.
Yeah, but they're not textured at all. They're not easy. When I was trying to riffle shuffle them, they did not shuffle easily.
Yeah. They also have wooden circles that are for one pieces. They do have stickers. We all know Randy's opinion of stickers. And if you don't, you haven't watched your channel. There's a couple that you can see to obviously know that. The cardboard pieces are pretty standard. The boards, however, they're just
super thin.
They're basically a thick piece of cardstock.
There's a lot to be desired with the boards.
Yeah, yes, sliding's an issue. There's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah, they're warped. All of them are kind of bent.
Mm-hmm. So quality of pieces, this is not where this game excels by any stretch of the imagination. I think the coolest thing is the queen.
I think this game would have been much cooler if they had like Azul style tiles.
That would
have been
be
neat.
Yes.
That would have been awesome. I would have been all about that.
Or even some kind of character on the little element pieces. They're just round discs with the sticker on them.
There's so much to be. I think the way they should have went with the Azul, like had some inlays, screen printed inlay. They could have to really up it. They didn't do it. It's a basic game.
Yeah.
Let's give it a score. Randy, you're up first.
As far as quality, I'm probably going to say it's about a 4. It's nothing outstanding, and it's slightly below Catan level.
I was going to say 5.
Yeah, I'm 4.5 because I don't like being mean. You're up.
I was going to say 4.5 actually myself. Just a little bit below Catan.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to theme. I actually really like the theme. So the theme part of it is I saw the Tetris. So we got this at Gen Con. We saw the Tetris pieces, and I was like, hold up, let's go look at this game. And then they told me the backstory of basically you're trying to build buildings, but it was something to do with like the sand, the dreamscapes, and things like that. I don't really remember what it was now,
It says the realm is in peril. Time bends and reality shifts uncontrollably in the physical world, and it's up to you as a royal magician to help the queen rebuild the realm of sand. Acquire different glyphs on polyominoes, then strategically place the tiles on your unique player board to construct buildings and unlock new magical powers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think the art's really amazing in this game.
Yes. The art on the card's very nice.
I love the art, the color palette. It all is very cohesive for me. I rather enjoyed it. What'd you guys think?
I thought the art on the cards was nice, but there's no art anywhere else.
It's pretty.
Well, no, all of this is art. All of this
but it's
is
not. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the art on the cards I do like. I like the look of the buildings and how it reflects the pattern onto the card. I think that's neat, but that's like 40% of the cool. 60% is uncool. And that's because there's not enough anywhere else in this game.
The box is cool too.
You're right, but I don't play with the box.
You should. It's a. Hi, Robert.
It would have been really interesting if they had gotten some of the box art onto the actual pieces. Again, score, guys.
Because I think the art is so nice on the cards, I'm going to give it a 6.
Randy?
Yeah, I'm thinking probably right around a 6 is where I'm at. I mean, thematically, I don't see how this matters to this game at all. It's just a Tetris-y type game.
I'm not ranking it on theme as far as
it's
it
not
making me feel like I'm a magician building magical buildings. I'm giving it a 6.
Are you a wizard?
Are you for the future? no to both of those, and the art is just what gives it a 6 to me. So.
Same here. It to me, the theme wasn't crazy through it, but it's the art on the cards.
Yeah, that's really what this game has. I mean, it's pretty, the art. All right, I agree. 6 all around. All right, so what about the rules?
So the rules were very frustrating because the game is really a straightforward, very simple game. The rules made it sound more complex than it actually is. And they did it but in a way by taking all the features I like in other rule books and incorporating them into something that made it more complex.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, they have side panels for everything, but it basically restates exactly what's in the main text. So as you're reading through, it took me a while to realize that these are just restating exactly what we already saw, and it's almost actually word for word restating it. It's not like it's like
It's
paraphrasing.
Or it's not real clarification.
Right, because the game is not that hard to pick up, and it made it sound harder because it had the same exact thing twice. And then the other thing was there were a lot of references that took you back to a page that was before you've already read, and they were completely silly things. So it was like, put the tile at the end of the row, and it said, see page 3, and you go back to page 3, and it explains what the end is. And it's like, if you haven't figured out what the end is by now, like, why are you referring me back to these pages to find basic things? So it was very frustrating going through the rule book. I'm going to give this one, because of that, a 4. I mean, it's such a simple game. It could have been really a 2-pager, and it is 11, 12 pages if you count back. And it was like, this is silly that it's this convoluted of a rule book.
Could have been
for
a
this
2 or 3
basic
pager.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you were going through it, there were several times it's like, well, what does that mean? How do you do that? What is that? And it's like information was out of order in there. They should have already prefaced and been like, oh, this is what this piece is. This is how you'll get it. This is what this piece is. This is how you'll get it. Now, on your turn, do this and then, or do this, and then you can do these other optional actions. It was very poorly ordered.
It was convoluted.
Yeah. So going, did you give it you gave it 4?
4.
All right. So moving on to gameplay. It's actually so in kind of the essence of Patchwork, right? So a little bit different is so you have 3 tiles to choose from at the beginning of your turn. You can either play one of your tiles onto your board or play 3 of your singles up to 3 singles onto your board. Okay.
But you're not really playing the tile onto the board. You're playing representation of the tile, which is one of the confusions that was part of the rule book.
Right.
There's squares that represent each of the spaces on these basic
So, for
tiles.
example, you get this, but then when you place it, you grab these 3 different tiles to place on your
But
And
you
then
do
you
have
put
to
that
place
in
it
that
in that pattern. Now, that's not the case with these. These you just place down and they're considered that. The thing about these is once you take them off the board after playing a card, they actually go back in your supply, and these are yours permanently. All right, so you play 3 of the singles, or you play a tile, and you place it down. You exchange, put that on there, and then you put it behind the queen, and then you get the option of taking one of the 2 tiles in front of the queen. Okay?
Now,
so you'll always have 3 to choose from.
When you're playing onto the player board, there's a shadowed area and a visible area. The visible area is all you can start out playing on, and then you can level up your board to let you play into at least a few of the shadowed spaces. And each player board is slightly different.
Yeah. And then as you build the patterns, you're trying to build patterns for the cards that are being shown here. Each card, it has worth different victory points, different bonuses for once you complete the card, and that is pretty much it. And hourglasses. So once someone achieves 10 hourglasses, you finish the round, the game ends. That's it. It's a pretty straightforward. Special abilities. You do not have to play with the power single player powers, but you can. They're on, so you can depending on the side of the board you play on, and each one of those are a little bit different. So based on that, you can look that up in the rule book. What do you guys think? What was your favorite part? What was your worst favorite?
I think this is a mashup of Splendor and Patchwork, because Splendor has your cards laid out like Splendor. When you build things in Splendor, now Splendor, the cards show you your permanent resources, represented basically different way, but same thing. You get permanent resources to pay towards the cost of your next card, and they're worth points, and you get enough of them that ends the game. So I think it's like almost a 50-50 mashup between those two games.
Yeah.
And I like both games. So I like this. The gameplay is where this game shines. The rest of this stuff, you have to take it for what it is. But it's a fun game to play.
Yeah, I like it because it's a little more complicated than Patchwork, and the fact is that the patterns matter. Like in Splendor, patterns don't matter. And then Patchwork, you're just trying to make sure your board is completely full. Where this, the pattern matters, and then you take those off and it clears out your board so you can do it again. But then you don't want to make, but then the leftover pieces you're using for a different pattern. So in that aspect, it complicates it a little bit more than those two. So are they as straightforward as those two games? No. By mashing them up and adding a little bit extra, they made it a little more advanced. I still wouldn't rate this a medium, but it is between a light and like it's right there on the cusp of light to medium.
0.5.
Yeah, like this is your next stage. Like you've mastered Splendor, you matched Patchwork. Let's move it up, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you're quite in the medium rate for this. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was kicked out of the game.
But you've played it before.
No, I know. It's been a long time, but I was kicked out to go get my second COVID shot. So now, in a couple of weeks, I will be sort of immune, I guess. But
That's the
anyway,
hope.
as far as the game goes, from what I remember of it and from reading through the rules and refreshing my memory, I find the game a little bit finicky. I don't like the whole concept of taking a tile and breaking it into the squares and putting it on the board. I think that's a little weird.
I agree to that because where you put it back in the circle, it's going to be so long before anybody gets back to it. I don't see why you can't just leave it on the board.
Yeah,
Eventually
it will fill up.
No, I think that does matter. And the problem is that when you go to like this one, right?
Yeah.
You're going to still have pieces left. If you break it into that, you won't have the pieces.
Right, I understand that. I'm
Like,
just saying,
Because of the changing board.
I just don't like the mechanics of it. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just I think there's better puzzle games.
Yeah.
Because of
I do think this would work fantastically as an app, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, this would
Like,
make a good app.
This coming to an app, it'd be downloaded. I'd be playing it all the time.
But yeah, I mean, I like the concept, and I like Tetris type games. I love puzzle games. So I mean, I like aspects of it. It's just, physically, mechanically, it doesn't work as well as it should. So I mean, we haven't really started giving scores. We're just kind of giving.
Well,
our
you'd
opinions
be the
at this
first one.
point. Well, we haven't got her opinion yet.
Well, then you can start. You can be printing and a score. You be the first one.
Fantastic. I agree with what Robert said. I can see this one definitely as that mashup of Splendor and Patchwork. I've played Splendor. I enjoy it. It's a good fun one. Patchwork, I've seen a playthrough. I haven't played it yet. We're going to fix that later.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's a lot of fun. Definitely in my wheelhouse. I enjoy the puzzle games. I enjoy Tetris-style stuff. But I do like how with the shifting of how your map, and it doesn't stay that way. Now you have to work around it. Things come off randomly, and now you have a new puzzle to solve. How do I get from this to one of those? I really enjoyed it. I would probably put this one as an 8.
Okay, cool. I really like this game as well. I like the shifting board. It does seem like a realm of sand, right? Like that's the whole point. Yeah, check that out. I like it a lot. Is it my favorite puzzle game? Maybe not, but it's pretty solid. I always try to get this back out and have a hard time. People are like fighting me on it, and I'm like, it's actually pretty good, So
It's the small box.
So I think I'm okay with an 8 for this one. I agree with that one. For gameplay, definitely an 8.
So statistically, this game came out in 2018. The board
Oh, we're
game
doing that
So, who knows when it's going to be offered? So I'm just throwing it on the top of So Board Game Geek rating is a 6.9. The designer, forgive me for not pronouncing this correctly, but I believe it's Ji Huawei, but the artist is Meisherly. The MSRP a little pricey for what you get. It's $39.95, I think. Is what it's listed.
That's not good.
No.
So it's a little expensive. More
We
expensive
got
than
it
I
at
thought.
Gen Con, so we probably paid that.
Yeah, probably.
It was at a booth with some other stuff we
Well,
were
it
getting.
was at the same booth
It's
as
the roll
Welcome
and
to.
write. Yeah, the
Welcome
roll and
to.
write. And so they gave us a deal.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like
they
we
did
bought,
bundle a bunch of stuff.
they got this, and then we got all this.
We
stuff.
bought all of the
Welcome
the white dry
so
erase
I don't
boards
think
for
we
Welcome
paid full for this.
to. Yeah, we probably got a bundle discount. You're right.
I enjoy
Well,
it, but
either
not that
way.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd pay $40 for this, but it's the 6.9 from BGG. I think that's accurate. I think I was going to give it a 7.
7's where I was at
Yeah.
too. I mean, I was hoping you wouldn't say that because 6.9, because now it sounds like we're jumping on the bandwagon. But 7's kind of where I was at on
Yeah.
it as well. I don't find it to be that exciting of a game. I like these kind of puzzle games, but I like ones that have a little more meat to them, and this one felt a little basic.
I think you're right. If this was an app, I would like it a whole lot.
Yeah, I
more.
agree
Yes.
there.
I would like it.
I think
a lot
it would take away the fidgety
Yeah.
aspects that I don't like about it, and it would also have a little. I mean, it wouldn't have a lot of meat, but I wouldn't have to set it up either.
Right, and but then you
Yeah.
would have probably, hopefully, a decent audio track to cover up your complaining, and you know that's always a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of important things that can be. Now, you know,
and you wouldn't have to actually play it with me. You could play it at your own home.
see, I think the thing is this game had a lot of potential, and I like the mechanics involved, but you know, for this price point, that's outrageous. They needed to upgrade their pieces, or they just need to make it an app and call it a day, because they could have done some really cool stuff with an app.
Yeah.
You could do like the sand, you know, taking
Like
over.
flowing
Every
on
time
the
Yeah.
you claim
outside.
something, the sand's just like it sinks down into the sand and it levels
Yeah.
back out.
Yeah, or something. I mean, they could have. I mean, they could make it work, right? They didn't.
To be fair, we could get a sandbox and do the same thing with this.
Then
It
you're
would
just
clean up
throwing
the
more
mess.
money at it.
I'm not cleaning that mess up.
Do we know a friend who does apps? No. All right. So Randy gave his score. We all gave our
Yep.
opinions.
This is our opinion of Realm of Sand.
So we had a lot of fun. We hope to see you guys later.
I didn't. I got shot in the arm, and I'm going to be painful and sick from it, probably.
Was it this arm?
Yes, actually it is. Please don't do that.
I'll do it for you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We would love for you to be at our table again. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.